Righteous Felon Craft Jerky is the official jerky of BellyUpSports. For over a decade, Righteous Felon Craft Jerky has led the American meat snack revolution by concocting delicious, adventurous, U.S.-sourced jerky recipes for uncompromising carnivores across the country. With 15 different flavors to choose from, Righteous Felon has all jerky lovers covered, and by using promo code BELLYUP, you will get 15% off your purchase at RighteousFelon.com. Do your taste buds a favor today and rip into a bag of Righteous Felon jerky.
Ninth seed Atlanta United. Hotlanta beats the first overall seed, the yes, Supporters Shield winner
by far,
Inter Miami. And it took them to 3 games. Miami won the first game, and then after that, Atlanta just got the iron hot and never looked back. That game 3, very dramatic game 3. I would definitely say that. Yep. I don't think that anyone's going to sugarcoat that. A lot of controversy. I gotta say, man, all time moment is where Campana, who probably should have got a red card for pushing Guzan into the back of the net. Which I don't know what it is about Brad Guzan, but there's always, I feel like every time I watch him play, he somehow ends up being like trapped in the goal net for some weird reason. I don't know why. I think it's just bad luck on my part, but I think it's a weird thing. But he got the last laugh.
Yeah. I would say Campana got away with a lot. Not only the red card, but I think other teammates should have said something, you do something, because I guess technically we're saying that the goalkeeper is pretty much the quarterback of soccer. You cannot touch him unless, it's an unintentional thing, or, you're jumping, you push them, then it's a foul. That push, I think that was maybe a little leeway of being nice to the team in pink or something. But, I mean, that usually starts brawls in the rest of the world.
Yeah.
And I think probably the biggest thing I took away from Atlanta as well is that even though Messi was on the field, you could see that they didn't have as much fear, or they had enough respect for him. But like we say in soccer, right, you can show them enough respect because of the name on their back, but not too much to where you let them do what they want. And I think they kind of took those 3, I guess, 2 guys, because Busquets came towards the end, but they kind of frustrated them as much where they were more thinking about how the game was not fair versus how they were playing.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where you could see kind of temperament in all those actions that Miami had, where it was like,
Yeah, I think last year, we saw all the players like lining up to get a picture with Lionel Messi, and now it's like, all right, we don't care that he's on the other team. And Atlanta United probably has like right now the biggest chip on the shoulder.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's a lot of people that thought that they shouldn't be in. I don't know how they got in this position when you lose all your designated players. Your coach gets fired. You're literally rolling with an interim coach, which I now at this point hire that guy.
Yes, yeah,
yeah, like
yes.
He just been even like he got himself 1 year. He got himself 1 more year as Atlanta United's head coach because
I would say so.
Because he just beat Inter Miami. Like at this point, like you want to talk about literally rolling with house money. This is it. Like, I mean, the house money part was just the fact that you made it to the wild card game. You outright beat
yes.
You outright beat Montreal, and now you just knocked out the Supporters Shield winner, which I think the other takeaway is also the Supporters Shield curse just lives on at the end of all this.
Yeah, and I think they just put their name on the map too across the world, and we know Arthur's going to spend crazy money because he got crazy money. So I think that kind of almost put Atlanta on the map to where, hey, now if the whole world is talking about Miami being eliminated, but now they know it's by Atlanta. Atlanta has a lot of money, so I wouldn't be surprised where no matter how they do this year, that they will spend money because they have to compete with the other teams. Hey, so that's what will be scary on what happens next.
3 DP spots.
Yeah.
And if you decide to not use that, take one of those U22 initiative players, take them out just to get a 4th DP, Look, I mentioned this earlier in the episode. Paul Pogba, his ban's gonna be lifted March 2025. If I'm Atlanta, I'm going after Paul Pogba. I mean, I know things didn't pan out with the older brother Pogba, but that's the older brother Pogba. He's a fullback. I mean,
Yes,
like
yeah.
this is Paul Pogba, World Cup winner Paul Pogba. If you can find a way to get Paul Pogba in Atlanta, I think he would fit perfectly in Atlanta's market. I think
Well,
that
it's Atlanta, so it
just
they don't have to sell him too much of that. And but he does also have, and it's one of those fun things because now Akon will probably could call him and say, "Hey, come to Atlanta." And then Tiani that just scored 2 goals against Miami can also call him because he's from France too, but he's from Senegal, but by way of France. So it's like I'm sure they have mutual friends. So you cannot really not sell Atlanta to him. But for me, it's just interesting on how they will build up, no matter how they do during this um playoffs.
no, yeah, I
Because
agree. I agree. I think that dark horse has to be the word now for Atlanta United.
yeah,
To see how, at this point, like I said, they got a chip on their shoulder. They aren't supposed to be. You don't fire your coach and expect to make the playoffs.
yeah,
You don't ship out Thiago Almada. You don't ship out Giakoumakis thinking you're gonna make the playoffs. And here you are. You literally the biggest upset in MLS history. I don't think there's any bigger upset than this right now. You took down. I feel like can we say that Inter Miami is now the evil empire? Like is that what we're doing now? Because
I guess it depends on who you ask. Maybe Orlando fans might say so, or direct competition. Uh, they don't really, I guess, touch on our side, the St. Louis side just yet, because we probably see them once or twice. But I think out of the big spenders, yes.
yeah, especially when Inter Miami going into this season was having roster issues because they were well over the salary cap.
Right.
And I mean Inter Miami has always had that issue. I mean remember when they had Matuidi and uh wow, I can't believe that guy was on the team.
That's my guy right there.
Yeah, fortunately, it just didn't pan out. But Miami was a weird team initially, and I think Matuidi maybe was just a little too. It was too early to have like a
Early.
player like
Yes.
Matuidi at that time. I mean, you remember they tried to sell us on Pizarro as well. Uh,
Yeah, it didn't work. I think he was a big enough name in Europe because of, Juventus and France.
hmm
But for like the casual soccer fans that don't watch those leagues, he was not like the big name that these guys are now. Or I
Yeah,
guess probably because he was on the wrong side of the ocean, maybe. But I think he was just there too early, and his name did not ring as much. Hey, my Tweety had a song made from for him in France, and he was a popular dance. So he was known, but
yeah,
just not
yeah.
nowhere near
it was
Messi.
definitely just he was too early. He was just too
Way too
early,
early. Yes.
for sure. But I mean, Atlanta, all the praise to them.
Yes.
To look in the eyes of a Goliath like Inter Miami and just get it done. But I mean, on the flip side, Inter Miami, like, what do you do? I mean, obviously, very. I don't want to say unprofessional because I think it's very on point
Mm.
to what some of these guys do when things don't go their way. I mean, it's the same thing like when Argentina lost and you had Emi Martinez, who I'm never gonna say negative things about, but him pushing off a camera. So it's very fitting. Of course Jordi Alba is gonna go yell at the referee,
Yeah.
complaining that they didn't blow the game, they didn't stop the match because of a player was injured when Atlanta had the ball. But at the same time, we also have the clip of Lionel Messi literally
Mhm.
chipping a ball over a down Real Salt Lake player. So, talk about calling the kettle black here. But if you're Inter
Yeah.
Miami, like, I mean, the panic button isn't necessarily in the vision of these fans, but I mean,
Well, they need the new. Sorry, but calendar is not doing it. If they want and their defense probably will need reinforcement because you know you
Oh
you
yeah.
you you have the front guys. Yes, okay, they can do all the magic stuff, but we're talking Messi. He's not going to come back in defense.
Yeah.
So you're losing your player. Alba is not going. Alba was coming back, but not as aggressive. He's not coming right back. So you see, so it's all those things where
And Busquets is not the same Busquets from
exactly he's
yeah.
not going to do 90 minutes, and he was, I think, came in late because he was injured or something. So I think he just got exposed, and that's why the Chinese with the speeds and the strength just out strength them. But yeah,
Oh
he
yeah,
was a little
because
bit too much
the back to
complaining.
back goals in game two from I believe it was Johnny. I think that was on
Ooh.
the back of the shirt was, and that was a French player, right?
Oh yes, well yes, yes from Senegal too. But yeah, is that it?
I
Think
saw John on the back of his jersey.
oh, I guess that's one I don't know about.
I mean Austin got mad at me because I said he looks like a Maurice Edu regen. So,
Wow. I will stay away from that one.
yeah, that maybe not the best day for me, but no, Atlanta. Yeah, the guy that scored the goal for Atlanta, it was yeah,
Jamal
Tiardi.
Thierry, yeah,
Yeah, him. I mean,
he bullied them.
I thought it was a replay. I'm not gonna lie. I was like, oh, they're showing the goal still, and I was like, oh shoot, it's. Then I realized he scored a second goal like minutes apart from each other. So yeah, he just went. He just exposed the back line, and once he figured it out, he's like, I'm gonna just do this again, and it
Yep.
literally was a carbon copy of the first goal. So. Maybe I'm over exaggerating a little bit, but it was the same way. He just beat them out.
He yep bullied them and like he blasted it from far. So yeah, so it looks like it was what 3 minutes apart.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can let
I
from
literally thought it was a replay.
yeah.
I
Yeah, because
was,
they're not even done with replays by that time, right?
yeah, so I was like, wait a minute. I was like, wow, this is
He earned his paycheck on definitely.
yeah. And then I mean, kudos. I mean, good on Atlanta United. The ref didn't blow the whistle. I don't sport. It's
No,
a playoff game. It's a winner goes home. Sportsmanship goes to the wayside. I'm sorry, but and
but if
also
they would have called it, then the referee probably would have got everybody else mad. But like, so why did you stop it?
well, he's only supposed to
Because he
stop
was
the
not
match.
playing, stopping the game.
Mm-hmm. Because he's not
But
supposed to stop it unless it's like a clear head injury, correct? Like that's
yes,
the only time the referee can stop him of anything. And
and he
some
was
people,
out away from the plate too, compared to the Miami incident. He chipped the ball over the injured player, right?
yeah. So it was insane to me, that whole thing. But
But
at the end of the day, Atlanta United moving on.
yes,
Miami, they're well, I guess they don't have to go anywhere. They're in Miami, so just chill out at the beach, I guess. But um,
yeah, yeah. I don't think they. Yeah, maybe some of them might go to international play. I guess if they're not
um,
exhausted, but not the
yeah.
main guys, of course. But
But yeah, man, I'm also what just an image of Infantino just looking just like he just bit himself, he just shot himself in the foot with obviously making the huge and we all know why Miami's gonna be in it. The FIFA Club World Cup has had such negative press and opinion. To me, I've said it plenty of times. I don't know how you feel, Moussa, but I still have more questions than answers about the FIFA Club World Cup where I think that
it's
it,
money.
yeah, besides the money part. But I mean, the only network that's willing to cover the game is giving them a quarter of what they were hoping that FIFA was hoping to get for the broadcast, and which is Apple TV, which I'm sure that's not going to sell any more people on watching the FIFA Club World Cup. But um, yeah, I think the supporter shield curse lives on, but at the same time. Like I don't cheer for teams to fail. Like I mean, obviously someone's got to lose at some point, but
Right.
I mean, it's not like I was rooting for the failure of Inter Miami, but I think with all the hype that was going through the obviously the different treatment that this Miami team was getting versus the other MLS teams, the fact that Apple TV, which I still say needs to do more with their content. You're
Oh
doing
yeah.
a whole docu-series for Miami's Leagues Cup run, but you can't do one for St.
The previous
Louis
winning.
for St.
Well,
Louis
at
like
least the
preseason.
at least the winner of the last year's MLS Cup. I mean, they've earned
Yeah,
it.
you couldn't do you couldn't do that. You couldn't have like your own little like a little preseason of following like just an MLS team that didn't make a playoff, like see how they try to bounce back. Like, if you could have done like a kind of like a docuseries of following LA Galaxy's like off season and then obviously seeing where they are right now, like that would have been really cool to see how they transform from being, terrible to where they are. Yeah, and like once again, Apple TV, and then so like if your FIFA as well, if that's the only broadcasting site is willing to offer you $1 billion. I mean, I'm sure that's like, this isn't what I want.
Yeah.
But yeah, if at the end of the day, I think FIFA kind of looking bad, MLS not looking bad. I love the people saying that Miami was losing, so they gave them a third game to win it.
To get back. Oh yeah, and I think I saw a meme that was saying that I guess due to unforeseen events, they canceled the entire playoffs. Yeah, people
I
are
saw
running
that,
with it.
or the MLS Cup winner has to now play Inter Miami for the MLS Cup champion. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's hilarious.
I think it's just people that were maybe a little bit exhausted of seeing too much of it. Um, and it's because it's a closed business, so they have to promote their main guy. Um, I guess for us that are used to the sport, you know, all the advertisement were around Messi when he was playing our team, but then when he left town, it was press reset. Let's do the next team. But this one, it was everywhere. When Columbus is playing Houston, all of a sudden you hear the Messi discussion in the broadcast. You're like, come on.
Hmm. It's just messy every single day. So
But eh, MLS is supposed to do it though.
yeah,
I guess if we were the exec, we would have said the exact same thing.
I mean, because Messi legitimately gets a share of MLS. So I mean,
Yeah,
yeah. So I mean, what can you do? But yeah,
doesn't
Atlanta
matter.
United moves on, and Inter Miami, they're gonna have to figure out what they got to do this coming season. I think I praised Tata Martino too much going into the year, thinking that this guy could understand that he doesn't have to go hard in the regular season. But clearly I was wrong. I guess he didn't learn anything from Atlanta United, because I don't even think when Atlanta United won the MLS Cup, I don't think they were like the first seed or anything like that. I mean, they were definitely clearly one of the better teams in the
Right.
playoff, but yeah, so well they move on. And then fitting that Atlanta United eliminates Tata Martino as well. So just like a full circle moment right there for Atlanta United, man. Literally running on house money at this point. They could
Yep.
get eliminated, and like I said, the interim coach, that man's got a job. If it's not with Atlanta, that's big miss on their part. But there's gonna be a team that's willing to give him a job next season. So
Well, I'm sure.